Hello, my name is Drew Walter, and this is a presentation on search and seizure in schools. When you are conducting a search within a school, you must have reasonable suspicion. You need to receive information from students or staff that's reliable, that you can count on before you conduct an individual search of a student. This is a less rigorous requirement than like a police officer who would do in the community because they must have probable cause and a warrant before conducting any search. The school district does not have to obtain a warrant because this would interfere with the school day and with the maintenance of disciplinary procedures. That would just be unruly because of how much time it would take to get a warrant. School officials do have to have reasonable grounds that a student has violated a school rule, policy, or law. When you're conducting a student search in their desk, you still need to have reasonable cause. You cannot search a student's desk based on a hunch. There are clearly written policies that should be listed that inform students that desks can be searched at any time, and the policies should state the conditions and circumstances which a desk could be searched. Also, the parents should be informed individually if you're conducting an individual search of a student's desk. Lockers are the school personal property, and you still need reasonable suspicion to search a locker. If you are doing an individual search of a locker, you should inform that student that their locker would be searched. Students do have a greater tendency to harbor items in their lockers which might violate school policy. When conducting a search, you should always have two officials present to make sure proper procedures are followed, and it is good to have the student there as well to be able to see what's going on within the search. If a student asks for a parent or another student to be present, you should allow that to happen and make sure you're still following the school policy. Only on extreme cases should you search an individual's locker without their knowledge. If there's a bomb threat or a threat of a weapon within the locker, you might have to hurry and do the search for the welfare of the school. Our district has a district locker search, and the lockers are they have the right to open the lockers at any time for inspection because they are the private property of the school. The lockers are to ensure if they need to ensure the safety of the students and the district. They might have different canine dogs with the police force that come and do sweeps throughout the district at any unannounced time to look for drugs or firearms. Also, book bags, you need to have stronger evidence before you search a book bag because the book bag is the student's personal property. The parents and the students should be notified if you're doing an individual search for a desk, locker, or a book bag. And also the courts are starting to make schools have more probable cause when searching a book bag because the property belongs to the student. So you need to really make sure you have a lot of documentation done before you search a student's book bag. Automobiles, if they are parked on school property, they can be subject to search at any time. You still need to have reasonable suspicion, and you also should inform the student and the parent if you are going to search a student's vehicle. If the automobile is not parked on school property, you cannot search the vehicle. You must contact law enforcement, and they need to have a warrant for that search. Personal searches are discouraged because they are very overwhelming to a student. You need to make sure that you have a lot of information before you do a personal search of a student. It needs to be a sense of urgency. If there's a dangerous item that might pose a threat to the school, health, and safety of others. This is very intrusive and you need more probable cause to do a personal search. All searches should be done in a private setting so a student isn't embarrassed, but especially a personal search because you don't want to violate the student when you're doing this type of search. Make sure you are the same gender when conducting the search, and you might want another person present or around so that they can document that everything is following protocol. If a student needs to remove any garments, this needs to be in private. Please have alternate clothing while the student is removing their garments. I work for USD 266, and this has had been a big issue in our district. There are different policies that are in their student handbook. This is also posted on the school website. I've had a couple students that have been searched that were my students that have had personal searches that resulted in a hearing. And these policies must be followed exactly because this can affect a student's education if they're kicked out of school because of a search. That in our district, they can search a student at any time. The locker, desk, workstation, or any school property that the student might be using because it is school property. If the school thinks there's illegal or illicit or disruptive behavior or a violation of the school rules, the principal can conduct a search, and they do say that the parking lot is school property and it's a privilege to park there, not a right. If the school vehicle is on the premises, then it can be searched at any time as well. There's also the use of the student's cell phone if it's on the district property, that the administration can search the cell phone if they think illegal activity is being conducted on the cell phone. This is very important because there's a lot of cyberbullying and other things going on that students are using their communication devices, and this is becoming more and more popular that the administration is having to do is searching a student's cell phone or communication device and getting on their Facebook accounts. There are a few guidelines that I'd like to talk about when you're when you're having to search and seize any items. There are some factors that you should consider about a student: their age, history, record, if they've been in trouble a lot or if they've never been in trouble at all, and the gravity and need of the issue. If there's reasonable grounds for the search, and if any criminal evidence is found, you need to make it available to law enforcement and call them right away. Do not conduct any personal searches alone, and school personnel should conduct all searches in a private setting. You do not want to embarrass any students while doing the search. There are a few standards that I'm talking about today in my presentation. Standard 3, an educational leader promotes the success of every student by ensuring management of an organization, operation, resources for safe, efficient, and effective learning environment. If there's reasonable suspicion, a school official will conduct searches to protect the welfare and safety of all students and staff. This is very important because as a principal's job, you should protect the students and staff at all times. Standard 5, an educational leader promotes the success of every student by acting with integrity, fairness, and in an ethical manner. School officials need to consider the potential moral and legal consequences when performing any searches. They need to be done in private so that no student's moral grounds are disrupted and that the school does not have any legal consequences from performing any of these searches.